So this shouldn't be too difficult to stay in Torment 1, at least until level 45, 50-ish or so. I could probably even go higher, but I don't want to do that right now. I do have my Wraps of Clarity, so I am relatively safe. So we're just going to go right back to the Temple of the Firstborn here. And of course, we've got our Twin Chakrams, so that's going to cut through almost everything there. And one of the most important things to get for us right now are Death Breath, to allow us to level up some more of these items and to build up our resources for blue and yellow items, because our gray items are looking pretty good. Now, one of the ways we're going to do that is through the Visions of Enmity. Those are going to be what we need. Is that the right way to go? No, it's not. And I'm not doing a very good job of maintaining my Massacre bonus right here, just because I'm trying to pick up items, and I think it might be better just to kind of target an occasional item here and there while moving forward. So I'll try that out and see if that's working, if I can maintain the Massacre in that way. If I can't, then I'm just going to switch to only picking up things in the visions, or when something's really obviously easy to pick up. There's the vision. So we need to go through here. I can always gain a couple levels back later on, but it's really hard to actually get everything that I need here. And if I'm not mistaken, we also managed to get a quiver for the Twin Chakram, which is why I'm not losing any resource here. So I can just spam Twin Chakram as much as I want to. No consequences. That's absolutely great. Alright, we got our elite level. And one thing I do need to be careful of is making sure that I occasionally tap my spender, my hatred generator, because that's what's going to maintain the Wraps of Clarity. So on the bottom of my screen here, this right here is my Wraps of Clarity. Every time I fire my primary skill here, I gain the Wraps of Clarity protection. You see that I'm starting to take some time to kill some of these, so shorter ones are the best. This is perfect. Now, I don't think I'll get enough to get all of my kills that I need in here to maintain a 300 Massacre. That's a bit of a bummer. Would have liked to have been able to do that. Okay, and then we're just going to go straight into a new game. Now, that area that I was in, the Temple of the Firstborn, still has plenty of monsters. I could probably build up another 300 Massacre bonus, but it's just better to start fresh, run through it. I can get an even bigger Massacre bonus going if I needed to. We're gaining levels pretty quickly. I think we were like 36 when we started. Now we're at 43. So we're almost on our way to 70. And in the solo one, I've now got GR 80 cleared. So we're doing great on that one. Occasionally, if I see something like this, I'll go and check it out too. And again, I could go and stop and see Zoltan Cool. So maybe we'll do this real quick, just in case. Because this has a chance of spawning the... oh man, I cannot remember it off the top of my head here. What's it called? Not the Gibbering Gemstone. Well, one of the things we need for the Staff of Herding that I can't think of off the top of my head right now. So if we find it, then that's going to make our life 1,000 times easier. In the same way, I should probably be checking to see if I find any of the bounties for like Kill Chiltara or Clear the Caverns of Frost. Then at the end of the game, all I need to do is get the plans, get Lyric Shinbone, which is not too difficult, and then get the Black Mushroom, which can be a pain. So, there's a chest that can spawn anywhere in here, which means we actually need to search the whole cave if we're being thorough. but hopefully we can find it early. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, usually this place has a high chance of spawning goblins as well. I know the Caverns of Frost for sure does, but I think here as well. So I'm just going to search this whole cave and then check out level 2, because it could be in level 1 or 2. Normally when you're running through places like this, you really want to make sure that you have a speed build going that can kind of just hold down its teleport or a really fast movement speed here. So that might be the chest there. We'll see. There it is. Mysterious chest. Liquid rainbow. Awesome. So we got that early. So now we don't need to worry about checking out Act 2 ever again. And then we'll head over to Zoltan Cool because I have a lot of damage. This might be my my last time to attack him and actually be able to kill him on this difficulty. So we'll see if we can do that real quick as well. Now this is relatively dangerous, but I've got the Wraps of Clarity, so I'm feeling a little bit confident to stay alive here. And my damage is still doing phenomenal, so might as well. You can see that when he hits me, it's not too bad. I'm losing a good chunk of health, but I'm not losing half of my health. Alright. So he didn't give me anything good. And we should put this in our stash right away here. Because if we don't, then we're going to be very sad if we die on this character. So. Alright, I just realized that my time didn't start, so I restarted the time there to make sure that it would be hopefully closer to accuracy. I didn't put in the exact time, but we added about 6 or 7 minutes there, so. You may have 2 additional sentries. Cluster Arrow now deals 189% increased damage. So we could use sentries on our bar, and this does give us at the very least more damage, toughness, and recovery. Now, when looking at the Fletcher's Pride thing, I'm not seeing too much additional bonuses here that is going to be really useful. That increased sentry damage by 90% on the Bombardiers there is really good. And of course, a lot more dexterity and vitality. So we're going to throw that on. It also has a socket, so we could throw something else. This is considered an other. So if we wanted a little bit more dexterity, we could throw this one in. A little more defense, we could throw this one in. Let's throw this one in and see what happens to our toughness here. Okay, we jumped up by a couple thousand there, or just a little bit, about 10,000. And then let's scrap the rest of this stuff. Now, could be putting a lot of these things on my follower, but I decided I'm not going to this time. And this is a useless item, so I'm going to scrap it. Now, in terms of these gems, they're not really all that used for anything. Again, if I have a socket on one of these, I could put in a green one, but I'll be getting better ones here soon. So I just scrap them, as I don't want them taking up my inventory space here. Also, I do have a lot of gold now, so I could be going to these vendors here and looking through their items and seeing if there's anything else I want to just buy instead of making it and wasting my materials. But we don't need to do that. And I forgot where I was. Went to the wrong area. Now, something else to keep in mind. This companion skill that I threw on in the beginning didn't have anything clicked whatsoever. If we look through these are really great. The spider's attack slows enemies by 60% for 3 seconds. This is like a crowd control version of the skill here. This will give you back your hatred. So if you're struggling with resource, you can put this on. And this is the boar companion. And it summons a boar companion that attacks enemies for 50% of your weapon. So it gets that attack. But the boar increases your and your party's life regeneration by 647 and resistance to all elements by 20%. So just look here. We got 84,000 toughness. Let's see what happens when we put on this companion. And we got 87,000 toughness. So it boosts us up just a little bit to give us a little bit more toughness on our bar, which is going to help out a lot here. So we're going to take advantage of that as much as we can in hardcore to get as much toughness as possible. And I'm starting to like hardcore more and more here. It's definitely becoming one of my more favorite ways to just play Diablo. I have a softcore character on the console version that I played with my wife, and we were able to just kind of jump in some visions early on, both of us not using the cache. And And that allowed us to not worry about death whatsoever. We just played in there until we got some decent legendaries, and then we went and got all the way up to 70 very, very fast. She likes to play the Witch Doctor, so she got the Booze Juicer and the Barber really early on. And I managed to get some stuff to boost my poison skill damage and the Circle of Nailuju, so I just ran around with the mages. So it was definitely relaxed and fine, you know, but we died, I want to say maybe like 13 times in the visions or so on the way to leveling up. So it's not like it was incredibly challenging, and anytime we died there was no penalty whatsoever. We would just go back to town, come back in, try again, and then get resources that way. So hardcore is definitely more enjoyable. Now I think the worst part of hardcore is the very, very beginning. Get some Rift Guardians, that's not good. So depending on who the Rift Guardians are, like that guy right there, hate him, they can charge over and one-shot you. So I'm making extra care to keep up my Wraps of Clarity here. Okay, I'm getting slowed down. That was a big chunk of health there. Alright, got one of them. There's another one. Okay. Everybody's dead. So those Rift Guardians are really a pain in the butt here. Where did my goblin go? He always runs this way. Especially when you're through a couple more visions of these. And like I said, we're going up levels pretty fast, so it's starting to get really dangerous here. Since that was only one level, we'll just hop back out here and start running through it again. Got a resplendent chest over here. Always want to check those for that exact reason. Let's see, these are not level 70 boots, so I'm just going to throw this on regardless of what it is. But what do we get? Gain up to 28% increased movement speed based on the amount of life missing. So as we lose life, we'll gain more movement. Not that we really want to be losing life here. See how quick it is to get the Massacre back up. We're already at 50. Until we lose it because no monsters spawn in. We'll get it right back up to 50 in a few seconds, so. So on the Demon Hunter here for the Hadrix gift, it is the Natalia set. Got another vision, so might as well go in there, I guess. We got the Natalia set, and the Natalia set took me a while to figure out how to play properly. Its mechanics are a little clunky, especially when you don't have the supporting items. Especially when you don't have the supporting items for it. So, just throw that way. If you're lacking like Trago's Coils, if you're lacking a Dawn or something, if you're lacking the Traveler's Pledge, all of this additional stuff that goes to it, plans in particular, right? It relies on a Guardians and an Oggolds to kind of stay alive there and do a lot of damage to the elites. So it relies on all of these things. And therefore, if you don't have any of those things, it's going to be very difficult to level up in the beginning. Alright, so we got Rift Guardians here. I don't know if I want to stick around here. They're a little dangerous at this level. I'm doing some damage. They aren't hitting me too bad here. We'll stick through it. So that means that as long as I find one or two of the items for it, I can go ahead and jump straight up to Torment 11, Torment 12, no problem. If I don't find any of the items for it, then I'm going to be struggling around Torment 6 difficulty. So we'll see what we get. And if we get those items, then we'll definitely stick with that. And if we don't, then we're going to be leveling up with the Legacy of Dreams and trying to find some decent supporting items here. Would you quit jumping around? I'm not gonna make it. Alright, 50. So we're approaching the danger zone for the visions here. Usually whenever we hit about 50, no matter how well we're doing in the main area, it starts to get too dangerous to stay in here and do it, because anytime we get necrosis on here, we could die. Anytime we get an elite level, if we get stunned and frozen, if we don't have any room to move around, we'll die. And you can see that the elites are starting to take a couple hits here to actually get going. So as we walk through an area, we're going to be prepared to leave at any minute. This regular area is exactly what I want now. I just want the items in here. I don't really want anything else. I'm hoping to get enough items, so if I end up dying, then I can just start again and put a level 70 weapon on, do Torment 6, and get right back up to level 35, 40 within a few minutes. And usually what I like to do is I like to throw a level 70 already crafted weapon in my stash, so once I have that, then I don't have to worry about anything. But I tend to not need to use it, because as long as I get to level 70, I've got a couple items that I can work with there, and I'm a little bit more cautious. I don't have to worry about losing a character as much. Alright, what else can we throw on here? That's great. Can't change my bracers because I need those wraps. And there's a decent belt. One thing that I'm going to look at here, I'd probably get a much better ring now that I think about it. I want to see, okay, I don't have anything extracted for armor or for rings. Whenever I get a ring or whenever I get a piece of armor that's decent, I will extract it. So I need a couple more death breath. When I do that, then I'll be able to extract the wraps of clarity, and then I don't got to worry whatsoever about my survivability. I could upgrade my regular bracer here. Probably should put these in a better location. Alright. And I forgot to take a quick peek. I wanted to look at what my actual other stuff is. So we're good on veiled crystals. Our reusable parts are pretty high, so I need another death breath to convert arcane dust as well. And then I'll look fine for arcane dust for pretty much the beginning process here. That's too dangerous. We won't be able to complete this one. So let's go ahead and head back. I should say I could probably take out the Rift Guardians there, no problem, but it's not worth it to get accidentally one shot by one of them, or, you know, I'm getting Rift Keys from it. So it's not like I'm really saving so much time. It's just 1 or 2 Nephilim Rifts that I don't have to do. And I think Torment 1 is still going to be fine here on this difficulty. And this is all without the cache, by the way. So we're doing relatively good without the cache. If we were to simulate what the cache experience would be like, we would have gotten the Wraps of Clarity more than likely right away from gambling. We want to allow... Okay. Epic Games almost killed me. So thank you for that, Epic Games. I think they were trying to update or something like that, and it just got way of a game here. I don't know if that's going to pick up on the recording there, or if it'll just look like a huge lag spike. But I kind of had a pop-up happen right there. Not this way. Really helps if you know exactly where all of these smaller spawns are when you're running out of area. Anyways, I lost my train of thought. So if we were to simulate getting the cache, we would have got the Wraps of Clarity right away. We would have gotten to upgrade our weapon. So we could have gotten a Carlae's Point or a Lord Greenhorn's Fan. And that level 70 weapon could have been extracted, or the Wraps of Clarity could have been extracted. If I even wanted to, the safest one to do is obviously leveling up the daggers for a good dagger, because you get pretty decent results that you can work with no matter what. But you could even craft a level 70 bow and hope for Yangs, although the chances of it is almost non-existent. And then we would have been able to level up with one run through here to level 35-ish, and then a second run would have gotten us to level 46-ish. So in just 5 minutes, we would have been already close to where we were at in about 35 minutes without the cache. So definitely major impact. And be able to save this. Nope. Really wanted the stuff here. Although I probably shouldn't have cared too much for it. Alright. Now, I'm still going to take a peek in these visions in case I get a goblin right in the beginning here. Now, this one isn't too bad. I could probably go through here and try and hope for a random legendary to drop on the first level or two, but I'm just going to kill the area around here so I can escape if I need to, and then check out the next one. Okay, still no elites, so we're good. I should say there's a elite, but there's not a large amount of them. You can see that my health is starting to dip a little bit here. Now, usually if I'm going to be like kind of hopping through these, if there's a dangerous elite, then I'll take them out even if it takes a little bit longer. Like this elite right here isn't bad, so I could probably have skipped him, but we'll take him out. Still no elites. So this is going to be the last one I can go through safely, it looks like. I can still take out the monsters just fine, but they're going to start to get too dangerous. They're going to be a real hassle. We didn't really even get anything from here that's going to be majorly helpful. So I'm just grabbing a couple items, and then I'm just going to head right back out. I don't know how I got crowd controlled through the vision there, but I guess that can happen. So now we're only going to be peeking in and there, out of there, again, just for hopefully the chance of getting a goblin level. By the way, if you're ever interested in playing hardcore, this is probably the best season to do it. Because you have absolutely no issue whatsoever with getting your augments. So, for the most part, getting augments are going to be focused on Petrified Screams. And getting those Petrified Screams is going to be relatively easy. But a mistake that a lot of people do is when they run Petrified Screams, they do it with the gear they're farming on, or farming with. And in the process of doing that, I mean, you can get stuck with a lot of monsters around you, very dangerous. Some people, there's a strategy I've heard in hardcore where they just go to like 110 or something, and then they try and level it up the rest of the way with 110 augments, going a little bit higher later on. But essentially, if you die in a Petrified Scream, just like anywhere else, you're dead. So that's how I lost one of my first characters. I died, I want to say when I started hardcore, about 4 times trying to get to 70. Finally got to 70, got my gear for the Hagdrigs, and was feeling great. And then I thought Petrified Screams you're supposed to die anyway in, so it shouldn't count. Ran a Petrified Scream, died, and lost my entire character. So I'm very cautious about Petrified Screams now. I will make an entire gear set for Petrified Screams that I don't mind losing, even playing a separate set bonus item. So like I'll switch over to Marauders, or I'll switch over to Unhallowed Essence just to run the Petrified Scream. Alright, we got some more stuff to scrap. Let me just double check some of these items here. Nothing looks too good. And we're going to be approaching the level where all of the gear that we get is going to be better and better. So at level 61, I think, is when every single level you go up, you're getting extremely good gear. You're getting much higher stat bonuses or stat ranges on them. Okay. Now, I'm at the point where fighting Zoltan Cool is probably going to become dangerous on this difficulty. So I'm just going to focus on getting the rest of the way to 70 here. And already, I don't like that. The regular bug should be fine, but... And I gotta get this down right. I'm messing up my movement here. I'm trying to turn and fire while moving forward in one direction. But I'm a little bit off on it. Probably get that. 25% more experience. Perfect. Okay, gotta take a peek in there. I'll leave some of these monsters out here for me to come back to. There's an elite level. I don't like this. This is very dangerous, and I could die in here. Now, trying to, at least if I could take out a few of those clusters right there, I should be fine. I got frozen. I got frozen. That was scary. I'm gonna come back in there, actually. I know that's a very dumb thing to say, but I still think I can take out a few of these and get those 1 or 2 death breath that I need there. Paying attention, not get frozen. And after all my effort, if you guys don't give me my death breath. Once we take out a few of those, then we're not as concerned. Alright, and then the rest of them should be down here. Wraps of Clarity is the only reason I stayed alive there. That's still a lot more elites down there than I thought. Okay, there's that other death breath I needed. We're gonna get out of that frozen explosion that I didn't see last time. Alright, and there's that death breath. We'll find dropping that. So, very scary there. And then we're gonna dip in and out here. Just what do we got? Okay, regular, not worth it. Way too scary going through there. Alright, we got a cursed chest to make up for some of our massacre loss there. But definitely getting really scary on Torment 1. Now, I could probably do this a few more times up to level 63, maybe 64, and then I could drop it, but I'm gonna play it safe and drop it right after we get through this first chest here. Okay, there's the 200 we were looking for. All right. 61. That's good. Let's go ahead and extract our Wraps of Clarity. Right. And that should be a much better helmet. Now that we're 61, we can get Marquise gems to drop. Means that these are all going to be useless. We'll sell those. And switch our difficulty down. Now, I'm not sure how big of a difference this is going to be at from like Torment to Master. So I'm just going to try out Master. If Master is looking okay, we'll stick with just that one difficulty drop. And if not, then we'll go down to Hard. Alright, that's about what I'm looking for the bugs to die, is within a couple chalk room swings. Happy that I don't have to manage resource here. And I might have been wrong on the Wraps of Clarity. It might be the Hatred Spenders that activate it. I think it is. So every time I throw chalk room, it activates. Alright, here comes the bugs. I have to be careful at this area right here because there's always nothing in that hallway. And I should have gone around the outside, but again, these bugs haven't been spawning in the way that I've been wanting them to.
This cannot be opened yet.
Okay, we're looking good. So if you're trying to copy this run and you don't have a Wraps of Clarity, this doing the same thing here probably would have killed you. Now, obviously, for any person, you should take into consideration what your own stats are, what your own damage, toughness, and recovery is. You see that I'm at 400,000-ish toughness right now, 438,000. I'm at 51,000 damage. But if you're trying hardcore, play around with it. Start lower. If the monsters are too easy, they're dying in one hit, go up a single difficulty. If they're still dying in one hit, go up another difficulty. Yeah, that doesn't sound like goblin level, so I'm just going to get out of there. Blended chest. We'll always open those. Have a much better chance of getting legendaries from there, or at least some decent items. Okay, we got damage received is reduced. And we're at the end here. So we can only get probably another 150 or so monsters, depending on if we can carry it to the next level. Right, did. Alright, we have to move around the circle here. Okay, we made 300. Don't think there's enough enemies in here to get a 400. This hallway ends. Might as well kill you.
I am returning to town.
Alright, what are we at? 64 almost? Okay. So, given that we're going up about 2 levels or so every single run, we should have about 4 more runs in us, give or take, depending on how we do with maintaining that Massacre bonus. And then we'll be level 70. So that's probably going to be like an hour and 10 minutes. Maybe an hour and 15 minutes or so. Of course, I could always die right here from a stupid mistake as well. Probably shouldn't be jinxing myself like that, but oh well. More fun for you guys, right? Get out of that cluster of monsters. Out of that cluster of monsters. Definitely getting hard to maintain here. Second, I thought I didn't activate the first chest. Anytime it starts to look like this for the cursed chest, that's not good. If I can barely get more than 60 monsters from here, means I'm not doing enough damage. Alright, we're gonna take our peek. Elite level, get the heck out of there. We got nothing here. Great. Since we're here, we'll open up that chest. Mark pieces. Going in there is definitely gonna kill me. I probably shouldn't.
That was just a taste.
Alright, this is going to probably be our last run on this difficulty. And then we'll drop down to hard.
Your fear betrays you.
And if I'm not mistaken, what I could also do is check out some of my passives here and see if I have a cheat death active. I really need to find the follower item because the follower just died right there. Now I could give him some better gear to help him stay alive, obviously, but unless you have the followers cannot die, there's probably no way to make him stay alive all the time here. Which means that if he's not alive when I die, his cheat death won't activate and I'm gone for good. So don't overly rely on your followers' cheat death unless he has the cannot die thing. Stay here for a second, let these bugs catch up. Alright, maybe we can get a 400 here. We'll see. Alright, the enemies were close this time. A lot of bugs. Hopefully that's enough. Oh, is that not enough? Is there any way I can get more bugs somewhere? Come on, bugs out here. Bugs out here. I hit that enemy. That would have been enough right there. Well, that's a bummer. Could have gotten up to 66 there.
Your fear betrays you.
Alright, now was there a resplendent chest that I missed back here? Yes, there was.
I need to go back.
Alright, and let's check out our gear. Much better. It won't let me... Oh, because I have the person open. Probably get a much better glove here too and put that on. Now the question is do we want sages on right now? Belt, helmet, and gloves. I could totally do that. Let's do that and craft some sages. We want to try and get this on as early as possible, obviously without going too bankrupt. And you unlock sages as soon as you get the blacksmith to level 12. So as if your blacksmith is level 12, you have access to the sages. And where's the helm? And normally I like to put it on my boots here. I do the gloves, belt, and boots, and I don't put it on the helm. The only reason being is that if I find a broken crown or find a Leorix, that's going to take the helm spot. The broken crown can be put on the follower, so not a huge loss here. And we're going to actually give our follower some gear now. Well, so now that we got that higher quality gear, we'll just throw some stuff on him as we get some more here. Now, I do have a spot in the socket for the helm, and that's going to give me way more life. So I'm at 1 million toughness. Let's check that out. 1.2 million. Sorry, I had the hiccups here, so my conversation gets cut off from that. But we're almost there. Probably going to go a little bit slower than I like. And I stayed in the same difficulty because with the sages, I feel like I'll be doing a decent amount of damage and the ability to stay alive. So let's check that out real quick. So close to the same as last time. Probably a little bit easier. I really need to see the bugs to tell for sure. Alright, yeah, we're doing a lot better on damage. Now again, we'll check it out. Doubt there's gonna be anything good. Okay, same old, same old. And I forgot to look at my passives, which is something that I wanted to do. Alright. See, so I might need to run through this whole area at least 2 times, I'm pretty sure. Maybe even a 3rd time. Okay, we got a deadly guy right there. One thing to be mindful of, guys, is for the massacres, if you get a 400, it multiplies your experience by 8, and that's all of the experience you've accumulated while building the massacre. So if you accumulated, let's say, 10,000 experience, then it would be 80,000. And if you accumulated 20,000 experience, then it'd be 160,000. So it's not like you should just get to 400 and then stop right there. You can accumulate some more experience, and that will boost up your massacre a little bit more there. I think one of the most, or the longest massacres I've gotten in the Temple of the Firstborn is about like a 760 or so. And that's with making some mistakes. There's still some more ways to run through this a little bit more efficiently, but it was with the Demon Hunter here. The range on the weapons here for being able to just move forward is so nice. Just throw and move. All right. So we'll let this drop, and then we'll open up that chest. E7. Couple more gems here.
I need to go back.
So what I'm anticipating is I'm going to go through this one more time, and I'm probably going to be like 69, and then I have to run through it again. We'll see how we do here. Again, we'll stay on the same difficulty. We'll stay on Master here. The last couple levels here are relatively the same in terms of damage and toughness, so there's not too much of a difference. The only thing is if you get some gear and it's just not level 70, then it's going to be rather annoying. And because of my skills on here, I'm slowing a lot of these bugs down, which means that they can't really follow me as much anymore. So that's making it a little bit safer for me, but it's also making it a little bit harder to maintain the Massacre. I'm fine with them being a little bit further back to stay a little safer. That's a lot of enemies there. I have to stay here for a second, try and get some more of those. Alright, we gotta move around our circle here. We want these bugs right here to drop in. Okay, we have another vision. It's a little bit too far back, and I don't want to check on it now because now I'm actually genuinely scared, even if I go through the first level there. If it is the goblin level, there's not really much we can do about it. Maybe we get one goblin to die out of all of those, so... Any bugs coming from the corner there? Alright, where do we need to go here? Probably across. Dangerous guy there. We'll just leave him behind. Emerald. Take that. Okay, no bugs raining down on us. This is a dead end. Should have seen that coming. I knew we had to go up here. Doing much better on our Massacre. And we should be approaching the end room here in a second. This is so much easier to maintain with that chakram generating resource here. You can see why I like it so much. All I have to do is throw chakrams down and I don't have to push any other buttons whatsoever. So we're really lucky that we got that. We're a little slower than I would like to have been. We'll just leave here. We're at about 1 hour and 19 minutes. And that might be a little bit off, given that I had to mess with the time here a little bit from pausing it so often. I think that's a Templar item right there, so we're going to throw that on him. Give you better pants. And that shield as well. Now, oops, no, we don't want to complain. Once we hit level 70, we're going to drop the difficulty down to normal and be much more comfortable on that normal difficulty. We could even farm some visions on normal, probably, with what we've got available to us. I do have the Night Series Satchel, I think, on this character here. So I could do some Devouring Arrow but I don't have the means to fire it really nice with the god set going. If I got at least a 3-piece bonus or a 4-piece bonus for the god set, then I would switch over to the Hungering Arrow and stick with that for the rest of the journey here. And that 3-piece would obviously only be with the Ring of Royal Grandeur, which we're going to try and farm for here soon. Alright, we're doing okay here. So far, monsters aren't hitting us too bad. Place is a farm for visions. What I'm hoping is if once I hit 69 with the fact that the bonus to XP is doing okay, then I'll know I'll be pretty close to getting 70 even if I drop it for 400 Massacre. That's what I'm keeping an eye out for. Now I know every time you go up a level, it's going to be more XP to the next. I'm not sure exactly how much XP difference is between the two levels there. The Waller, that's not good. Probably a dead end. Yep. The Waller is incredibly frustrating and annoying. Hopefully we can just leave him behind. Probably get stuck behind all the other enemies. There's a resplendent chest down there, which I don't have time to get right now while maintaining this particular massacre. Alright, so we'll definitely be able to get 400 here. Okay, or not. Those bugs took forever to get out. So we're going to have to do this one more time. I might as well get it started a little bit here. That pool of reflection will help a little bit. Resplendent chest here. Oh. Alright. So that was a bit of a bummer. I was thinking for sure we would have had it right there. But those bugs just did not want to pop out. But given the fact that we found that pool of reflection, could be getting a little bit of a boost. And I can just find a couple hordes of bugs to get it the rest of the way there. So I'm just going to skip most of these enemies. Look for massive amounts of bugs. I'm going to save that resplendent chest for when we hit 70 here. Alright, let's get the massacre started here. By the way, that is an event. Okay, no monsters. Up here, if you walk up to there, you'll spawn a couple bugs and a boss monster, so that's why I try to stay away from there. Just like going over here and doing this thing. And it takes a while for the event to spawn. If this was on a non-hardcore character, every time those visions popped up, we would drop the difficulty down to normal and go inside of those. Alright, so with this cursed chest here, we should be fine. We can get some more bugs to rain down on us. There we go. We're going to take out these bugs first before activating that cursed chest. And to be honest, I might even be fine dropping it right here at 200 or so. But I would like a 300 at least. How many enemies are here? 10 left. Let's see if we can get some more. There we go, 300. Okay, so we're level 70. We could take a peek in there. If this is the goblin level, I'm actually going to be incredibly frustrated. Of course, if I die, I'm going to be even more devastated, but yeah. Alright, nothing good there. Head back and open up that resplendent chest and get some level 70 gear from it. That was actually a bit of a hard hit there. All right. Back to Tristram. What do we got here? Anything good I can give you? Most of these aren't very helpful for the Templar here. Let's see how I'm doing on resources. Oh, right. I forgot to do the times. Let's see. Split 60. There we go. So we saved a little bit of time compared to the last time I ran through this run. And now the next goal is going to be to get the Hadric's Gift, which if we take a peek here, we have to do a Nephilim Rift. We are going to have to do all the bounties. Socket 5 gems into the gear. Raise the Jeweler. Raise the Mystic. Kill Mathael, Azmodan. So in order to raise these guys, I need Death Breath. I don't think I have. Apparently had one or two on me. And how are you doing? Alright. So that's done. And then for the socketing thing, I mean, you could just take some gems, throw them in like that, and then remove them, and then throw them back in over and over again. Not much you gotta do there. Okay, let's see. Kill Mathael and Azmodan. So I'm gonna want to be on a lower difficulty for that. I also have to obtain the bounty caches from Acts 1 through 5. And they don't specify a difficulty. So if you want to go through them as fast as possible, drop them down to normal. Alright. We'll go take care of Azmodan first. He's over here. And now that I have the chakrams, let's see, do I want to switch over to... I might switch over to Devouring Arrow real quick. Now, of course, when I do that, I'm going to lose the resource generation of chakrams. but we'll try that out. Put your skill over, Hungering Arrow. Now I know we use Devouring Arrow. Let's see, each consecutive pierce increases the damage of the arrow by 70%. But we could also use something else here because we don't have the God set. Okay, so we don't really need that. We're probably fine on Hatred Generation. If the arrow successfully pierces the first enemy, the arrow splits into 3 arrows. It should be guaranteed to pierce. So I'm going to try out the Shatter Shot, and if that doesn't work, then we'll do Devouring Arrow. I should probably put on my final passive here. I want my Cheat Death for sure, so that's going back on. We're going to change this to Ambush to deal more damage. Pull of the Weak is probably fine. Let's see here. So I could maybe boost up some movement speed or anything like that, but we'll just stick with what we got on with Blood Vengeance. All right. And I teleported here, didn't I? Oh, whatever. We'll just go back. All right, let's see how that looks. Okay, so it's insta-shooting them all. That looks fine. Basically, we're killing everything in a single hit here, and it's zigzagging around like I wanted it to. The elites are dying pretty fast. We'll compare this to our chakrams too. Our chakram's killing things pretty fast. So those would still be a good skill. Let's try out the elites. How are they looking there? Alright, and let's compare that to the Devouring Arrow. Okay. So I would say switching to the Devouring Arrow was a good call. It looks like now both of my skills, my Chakram and my Devouring Arrows, are going to be doing pretty equal damage, but single target is probably also going to help a lot when it comes to that. I'll check that out in a minute. I'm going to go defeat Azmodan real quick.
I need more discipline.
Usually I get really frustrated when I get those visions right before I'm going into a boss, because most of these bosses don't have a way out. So we're doing good on damage there. Probably shouldn't get hit by that. And there's some extra death breath. Now I'm not sure. I think Azmodan might be one of the few you can actually just go right back out of.
I am too low on discipline.
We don't got to worry about it. And let's go ahead and put more stuff on you. He's got to be fully equipped anyway, so as I find things, I'm just going to throw him on here. I could also just give him my own gear, put him on the follower, and then take them off, and that would count as well. But I want him to actually have good gear because I need him to stay alive. Right? Anyway, one of the things I was going to say is if you're ever in need of like a couple death breath, just go and find the Zoltan Cool bounty, run to him, kill him. If you're on level 70, then they drop death breath even on normal difficulty, usually. So that could be a way to farm real quick. Obviously, you can also hop in a Nephilim Rift. That would do it as well. We're not too interested in the loot here. We're just hoping for some legendary accessories, or a legendary anything really, and to not die, of course, and that death breath. There's the elite level we wanted. Just gonna hold down some chakrams here because there's just so many. And I should be a little bit concerned about getting frozen here as well. So I'm going to try and move around the edge of the map. A lot of wallers here. And a lot of explosions. So I'm not killing these things as fast as I would like here. Ideally, I could come in here and do a couple hits and they would all be dead. This was a bit of a tight area, so hard to maintain. I'm not putting any Paragon in the beginning because the first couple points here aren't really all that noticeable, so I'll save them up a bit. And then once we get a good chunk, then we'll get some more. Alright, we got a crossbow. That's great. Ooh, belts and a consumable. That consumable is used to upgrade the hatred shards. So we're going to check all of this stuff out right away. Okay, rapid fire increasingly deals 96% increased damage while channeling stacks up to 30 times. So that's pretty awesome for us right now. We'll check out this belt. This might be the Impale belt. We'll see. After using Impale, Vault costs no resource for 2 seconds. So this would allow us to spam Vault. So also a phenomenal item there. So we're going to go ahead and throw more stuff on. These are all cloaks. I don't think it can go on the follower here. I'll try it out, but yeah, can't wear it. And I'm actually going to throw that stuff back in their stash here because those are very useful items. We can probably get a speed build going with that, and I might switch over to rapid fire, or if I die, then I have another item that I can use there. Now, I'm not putting in any of the shards or anything, or soul shards, even if I get them, until I get a comfortable set going. Yeah, it's still looking faster, I think, to use the Hungering Arrow. And gray items are going to be the most valuable things now. I gotta watch out for those big guys. Sometimes they charge right at you, and that they can one-shot you. So even though I'm doing fine for damage, I may not be doing fine for survivability. Alright, that's not good. We got wallers here. I'm gonna have to always be moving here. Especially with those. That's not good. That's not good. Very dangerous. I'm gonna use smoke screen here. So these visions are gonna be looking way too dangerous for me. I've got necrosis on right now too, which I didn't see, so I need to get out of here ASAP. ASAP, ASAP, ASAP. Alright, that was scary. We're gonna go back in there because I know everything's about dead. I'm just gonna stay near the exit here while I fire at these guys. Chakrams can go through those, so I'm switching to that whenever I get walled. Okay, we had a beam there. We're gonna hop back out. We got necrosis. We're gonna shake that off. And then we're going right back in. Alright, now we've taken out some of those elites, so we'll be fine with the rest here. That just goes to show you just how dangerous these things actually are. Very, very scary. Alright, and peeking in. Okay, so that's the end. So we could probably stick through here to the end at the very least. And we're going to stay out of these until we get 2 Greater Rifts done to get a Legacy of Dreams to help us out with our damage here. So we got a whole bunch of items there, which is what we really needed. And a lot of extra death breath. Alright, you need a ring. Heal it. I also need a decent weapon, which is probably not going to drop, so I might have to craft them one. All right, we got a helm. Hopefully it's something useful. Looks like a broken crown, so we'll throw that on our follower right away.
I won't use that. This will aid me.
And throw a ruby on him. Okay, so what was the other person we needed to kill? Was Malthael, right? Malthael. We'll take care of him real quick. He should drop us the plans for the Reaper's Wraps as well. I'm not too concerned about dying to him. He is rather annoying. Because he's got the phases like most of the bosses in Diablo 3, and he's also got an immunity, I'm pretty sure, where you can't kill him until he gets down to his second phase. So that's a little bit annoying. That vision was pretty scary, but that was a couple levels deep, which means it was more than likely closer to hard or expert difficulty. And then of course we had all those elites. The elites were the only thing that were able to kind of kill us there, so the bosses should be fine. And if we're lucky, we may even get a shard from him, so. And there is quite a bit of a bonus to the shards when it comes to what they offer on the first upgrade there. They take the place of some of the regular gems that you would socket in your gear.
I need more discipline.
So you just got to be a little bit careful about that first dodge that he does, or that first sweep attack. And all of these things right there, those little swirling pools, are incredibly deadly. So he should be hitting his second phase here. Making sure we're not getting attacked. First one, and then now he should be able to die here. That's a deadly attack. And that one right there, the wings. All I gotta do is get behind him though, and he's fine. Alright, time to die, Malthael. And flashbang warning here, it's gonna get incredibly bright, so close your eyes in a few seconds if you're concerned about that. And the flash is gone. There's the plans for the Reaper's Wraps.
I need to go back.
So we could be starting a Nephilim Rift right now. I like to wait until I'm on Torment 2 at the very least, usually Torment 4, especially on the Necromancer, before doing a Nephilim Rift. Because that takes care of all of the different levels of Nephilim Rifts. So it says, complete a Nephilim Rift, any difficulty, and then you get over here and it says Expert difficulty, and then Master difficulty, and then Torment 1 difficulty. So if you can do it on Master, then go ahead and start the highest Nephilim Rift difficulty you can. That'll check a couple boxes, so you don't have to do that more and more. Scrap all of this stuff. And now the real thing that's going to be boosting our damage here is getting a socket in either our amulet or ring, and putting on a Legacy of Dreams. And in order to do that, we have to do 2 Greater Rifts. So it's going to start out on a high difficulty here. I would go ahead and just do level 1. Now with Greater Rifts, it is a lot easier to run them compared to Nephilim Rifts or even just regular bounties, because you tend to get really good mob density, you tend to get the pylons and stuff, and it's organized in a way that's nice and comfortable for the player to move through, so it shouldn't be as challenging. we'll actually stop here for today and pick up on greater rifts next time. So I just wanted to do a few of those, get a feel for it's level 70 here. This is still a high chance of dying. Once I can get to about Torment 1 difficulty, I shouldn't have any problem. And I've got a little trick up my sleeve that I might be able to use to get much better gear as soon as I get a socketed item. So I'm going to try that out, and I'll see if I can really boost up my damage here next time. So I'll cover that in the next video. But have a good one, guys. Thank you guys for watching.